Hello, everyone. This is meditation log day 2. Sorry that the house is a little messy. There's been some moving happening and people doing things, going places. I missed yesterday, and I would apologize, but I think I'm moving away from apologizing for things that don't need to be apologized for. I did say in the first meditation log that I would do my best to not miss days, and funny enough, I missed the second day, which is just like, I'm going to start a new thing, and then I missed it, and I was giving myself a hard time. Yesterday, not that you need to know the excuse or what led to me missing the second day when trying to implement a habit, but I ended up working a double shift because my coworker was not feeling well, and I worked 12 hours straight, which was very tiring. And then I went to the gym at like 3:30 in the morning and got home at 5 a.m. and I did not want to meditate or create a meditation log. I think, that being said, it is something that is easier done at the beginning of my day, and I think is more beneficial at the beginning of my day as well, where I start out being mindful of whatever's on my mind and thinking about it and talking about it. I think that that's a bit more productive. I also didn't want to beat myself up about missing a day. I think that in creating a habit, the most damaging thing is to beat yourself up, especially when meditation itself is hard. It's really hard to do, and I'll tell you more about my meditation today and how hard or just emotional that was. And I think that we're so quick to just give ourselves such a hard time when we're trying to change. And the thing is about any type of change is that it's painful. It hurts. You know, when you start working out maybe for the first time, like you say, oh, I want to go to the gym for, 4 days a week. And 1 week you miss it and you're like, oh man, like I'm such a piece of shit. and you start just hurting yourself and, almost like convincing yourself that you don't deserve a better life. There's a lot of reasons why people self-deprecate, and I won't go into that, but I just found it really interesting. And today's entire meditation, I was actually just working on like being proud of myself for trying, and it ended up taking me down a rabbit hole of thoughts. And it started with like, I am truly so proud of myself for just trying new things and being open to change. And I think that I've been in a mode of comfort in some facets of my life, and comfort's great. It keeps you, safe and happy and well, but at the end of the day, you're kind of feeling hollow because there's part of you that's, that needs more attention, that needs more care. So yeah, I'm not beating myself up at all about missing a day, because that's not what this is about. It's not about keeping score. It's not about being competitive with myself. Like, it's truly just to try and help myself heal, and that's why I'm trying it. And turns out the second day that I, had made a plan to come home after my shift, I got called into another 7 hours of work. And that's tough, and that's life. It's not like I needed to trip out and make myself feel like a bad person for missing something. I think that with certain disciplines, it takes a lot of learning and discipline. And I even think about my, something I like to, something that I would say I'm proud of myself for is my habit of exercise. And I think when I was developing that habit of going to the gym, I was never beating myself up for only going for a 20-minute session, or, missing 3 days in a row, or a week in a row, like whatever. it's always been just like when I have the time and space to do it. Obviously, some habits you want to have more of a time structure to, but it really does nothing for you to beat yourself up when you start to stray off the path. It's all just trial and experimentation, and you should be really graceful with yourself. I've found that that is the best path to implementation. Talking more about the meditation that I had today, I was thinking a lot about how proud of myself I am for just where I'm at and what I've went through. And I I envisioned a younger version of myself at different stages of my life, when I was in high school, when I was 17, when I was younger, 12, 13-year-old boy. And I honestly, I started bawling in mid-meditation. This was literally 15 minutes ago. I just started crying. I was sitting right here, fan blasting air in my face. And I think I haven't been giving myself permission to feel as a kid, and feel that, like, as a kid, I went through things that I shouldn't have had to. And I envisioned myself in this meditation stepping in as an adult and speaking up for myself. And it was truly, like, I'm starting to cry now you're talking about it. It was so powerful. I was like, wow. I really have grown so much in the effect of, like, I would have stepped in and said something, Like, now I'm like, I would do something. I would be like, this is so unfair. And this sucks. And just being able to be strong for yourself is such a I'm so proud of myself for where I'm at and what I've went through. I'm so fucking proud of myself. And, like, I would encourage this meditation for anybody, just to go in and think about the person that you've been, and just tell yourself that you did a good job, because you made it through, and you found a path. And maybe it wasn't perfect, but I think that's really this disconnect I've had, where I've been running into a wall of wanting to be a man. I've really wanted to be a man. I'm like, I look at some of my friends, and I don't have a lot of male role models, and I start to think, like, what is it about them that makes them men? And how do you be a strong man? What does that even mean, right? Obviously, there's a lot of questions about that in today's society, and I don't want to talk about that right now, but I do want to talk about that transition from boy to man is forgiving yourself. It's forgiving the child that didn't have all the tools, and just patting him on the back and saying, you did the absolute best you could. You did the best you could, and I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. You did the absolute best that you could. And I think I haven't actually accepted that. I haven't accepted it. And that's why it still caused me so much pain. Because the scenario that I play over and over in my head again is that you could have done more. You could have done more. Why didn't you do that? Why weren't you a man? Why weren't you a man, but you were just a boy? And I've been scolding that boy instead of lifting him up and telling him he did a good job. I think the more I talk about it out loud, I'm sorry I hadn't fully processed it, but I needed this. It's really amazing, even just 2 days of meditating, how much it makes you think just about yourself and how you see yourself. It's so powerful. It's so powerful. Such a simple practice. Such a simple practice. Sorry for crying. Actually, no. I'm not sorry for crying. I have no regrets of crying. Crying is such an excellent tool to let your emotions do what they need to do. This idea in society that men are taught to not cry and not to feel is so toxic, and it sucks. Rates of suicide in men are just going up, and I think I don't know, I'm not a professional, but when I think about that stuff, I think a lot of it is just we as men are taught that we are weak when we feel, and we are weak when we talk about our emotions, and we are weak to forgive, when these are the most vital things to set yourself free, is to forgive and to feel. So yeah, that was my meditation today. Much deeper than I thought it would be. I should note, this is where I sat. I put a blanket on the floor. I had a fan blasting in my face. My meditation was 20 minutes long. What else? I had a lot of caffeine before this, more than I usually do. I had 2 cups of coffee. I usually only have a single cup of coffee in the morning. I also didn't do it first thing in the morning, which I would like to do. Just didn't happen today like that. What else? I was not fidgety. I usually am a little bit more fidgety. I felt like this meditation, for some reason, I just fell right into it. It was a lot more fluid. I think that was most of it. Very deep for just a second meditation. I'm very optimistic. If I'm able to get to such a level of depth so quickly, I'm looking forward to more meditations. Also, this meditative state felt a lot like I've been doing EMDR therapy, talking about some of my past and traumatic experiences, and I'd say this meditation was the first one that felt similar to that. And again, I don't know why, but I just put myself back in the shoes of that kid, that was just doing the best that he could with what he had. And it's amazing what it will do for you to forgive your child self for just doing the best that they could, being a kid, and looking forward now as an adult, being able to differentiate and filter out things that hurt you and just don't serve you, and say, no thank you. It's so powerful. I think we put on these faces and we perform in society for all of the people watching because we want to be liked, we want to be included, but doing that really just kind of screws you out of finding yourself and finding the healthiest and best version of yourself. Thank you for listening to this meditation talk. Not sorry for crying. I hope you have a beautiful day. I hope you are taking care of yourself and not being too harsh with yourself. I hope you're being kind to yourself and thinking kind thoughts. I hope you're giving yourself grace, but not too much grace. I think there's a balance with, let yourself have off days, but also show up again and try. If you want to do something new with your life, maybe it doesn't go well one day, as I said at the beginning of this. Maybe it's hard one day, it feels off, but don't beat yourself up, and next day you can try again. We're here and we have this ability to show up and give things another fair shake. I love you. Have a beautiful one.